Welcome back to Mastering Wisconsin Plumbing, the podcast where we break down the code not just to pass a test, but to build real-world confidence on the job. I'm your host, Ryan Boggs, and this is episode 4, Venting Systems. Start with the fixture. Today we're stepping into one of the most referenced and most misunderstood sections of the Wisconsin Plumbing Code, venting systems. This is found out in 382.31. It's a long section, looks intimidating, but don't worry, we're going to break it into clear, applicable chunks. So there's something I've noticed: this section often causes the most trouble for out-of-state designers and even for inspectors who haven't installed systems themselves. Wisconsin has some very specific venting systems that you won't find worded the same way or even allowed in other states. So let's make it easier. Let's start here. Is your fixture a floor outlet or is it a wall outlet? That one question helps us quickly narrow which venting systems apply. So back to the basics here. Every fixture gets a trap. Every trap gets a vent. But here's where it matters. That vent might be individual or might be part of a larger system, like a common vent, circuit vent, wet vent, or stack-based system. The job isn't just putting a vent on a trap, it's figuring out how the code allows that trap to vent. That's why the floor versus wall outlet question is so important. So let's also ground ourselves in the actual why behind these systems. At the start of 382.31, the code gives us engineering performance standard. It states vents and venting systems shall be designed and installed so that the water seal of a trap shall be subject to a maximum pneumatic pressure differential equal to 1 inch of water column. This is what we're designing for. If pressure builds beyond 1 inch of water column, positive or negative, you risk compromising that trap seal. And as outlined in our definition, that trap seal is 2 to 4 inches of water. Every building also requires at least one main stack. Right below this section in the code, it says each gravity flow sanitary building sewer shall be served at least one stack, which extends from a building drain to a vent terminal or vent header, not less than 3 inches in diameter. That's your main pressure relief path for the whole system. And remember, the sewer in the code is referencing the sanitary piping outside of the building that's tied on to the building drain. Yes, definitions matter. So let's start to go over wall outlet fixture venting systems. Wall outlet fixtures can be lavatories, urinals, kitchen sinks, and they can use the following venting systems. The first one is individual vent. One trap, one vent. We have to use Table 1 in 382.31 to check the maximum developed length based on drain diameter, the pitch of the pipe, horizontal or vertical layout, and also the type of fitting that drain connects to the vent. Number 2, vertical common vent. So 2 fixtures, usually back to back on a vertical drain, using a double sanitary T, a cross, or a double Y. Vertical common, you need that point of connection for the drain and the vent at the same spot, so that's what they have in common. Number 3, horizontal common vent. This is 2 1DFU or less fixtures. The vent is downstream of both traps. Maximum developed length cannot exceed that of Table 1 from the furthest trap to that point of vent. The most common spot you will find in a horizontal common vent is going to be probably a side-by-side lavatory. Number 4 is a vertical wet vent. So 1 fixture vents the other through the vertical drain pipe. Maximum 2 fixtures, they got to be on the same floor. Number 5, a return vent, also known as an island vent, loop vent. Wisconsin calls it a return vent. Number 6 is a circuit vent. So this can be used with wall outlet fixtures. It's just not as common. Usually you see the circuit vent applied in floor outlet fixtures. Number 7 is combination drain and vent laboratory sink system. Only legal for laboratory sinks. Number 8 is a combination drain and vent stack. So this is the residential scenario. So code specifically calls out 1 kitchen sink on the upper level, and on the level below, we have 1 2DFU or less fixture connecting to that drain stack. So let's get into the approved systems that we can use for floor outlet fixtures. Floor outlet fixtures include toilets, floor drains, mop sinks, There's some other ones in there. So number 1, we still can use individual vent. Number 2, horizontal wet vent. So think of this as only for non-public bathroom groups. As soon as you see a non-public bathroom group, you should think horizontal wet vent, because that's the only application that you can use it for. And yes, you can have a non-public bathroom in a public building. So just think, if you can lock the door and one person could use that bathroom group, then it's non-public. Number 3, circuit vent. So we can use this for multiple floor outlet fixtures. The vent goes in between the 2 most upstream fixtures, and table 1 still applies for that point of vent for our maximum developed length. Number 4 is vertical common vent. So again, much like the vertical common vent for the wall outlet, we have to have a double pattern fitting here. So we got to have a double Y or a cross or a double T, whatever you want to call that. But what it has in common is it shares a drain and it shares a vent, and they connect at the same common spot. Number 5 is combination drain and vent stack. And this is the combination drain and vent stack that goes up to 3 levels with a maximum of each fixture being 2 DFUs or less. So in here we have a specific table that we have to use for this system, and that's 382.31 table 5. And it's also the only time that the code will ever reference an attendant vent. So we need to size the drain stack and that attendant vent based on the DFU load that is assigned in table 5. Number 6 is combination drain and vent building drain systems. So this is only used in the building drain. Yes, we'll go back to definitions. The building drain means the horizontal piping within or under the fully enclosed portion of a building installed below the lowest fixture or the lowest floor level from which fixtures can drain by gravity to the building sewer. So each fixture must be connected individually. There's a minimum 3-inch size for the drains or the traps, and we have to have a 2-inch vent upstream of every branch that connects. And then we can only put on a maximum of 2 water closets on any one combination drain and vent building drain system. So breaking venting systems into wall outlet versus floor outlet fixtures has proven, at least for me, to be the easiest and most logical way to approach this part of the code. It helps make the venting systems options in 382.31 a lot more digestible. Once you know what kind of fixture you're dealing with, you can immediately narrow your venting options down to a manageable list. From there, the next step, and really the backbone of all these venting systems, is understanding Table 1 of 382.31. This table sets the maximum trap to vent distances based on pitch, pipe size, and orientation. It applies to every system, but how you measure it changes depending on how the system is configured. Within the reference material for this episode, I've also included a flowchart to help you discern how to read Table 1, 382.31. I also have full code references for 381 and 382.31. Within there, there's also links that I've built to help you see venting systems we've been talking about. It's a cloud-based augmented reality experience that brings Wisconsin Plumbing Code venting systems to life. No app needed, just use your smartphone or tablet. Click the link and place the system in your space. You'll be able to explore common, wet, circuit, combination drain and vent systems in full 3-dimensional augmented reality. Take a look, give it a try, and see if this helps you better discern the nuances of different venting systems in the state of Wisconsin. If you do have a question or you want to request clarification or send in a drawing, whatever, you can find me at plumout@gmail.com. Next week, episode 5, we're sticking with venting, but we're going to shift gears. We're going to talk about where each system is most commonly used, field applications in residential versus commercial jobs, and how to identify a system based on fixture layout and construction type. So just to reiterate, every fixture gets a trap, every trap gets a vent. That vent might be individual or part of a system. We have to follow the design criteria as outlined in the Wisconsin Plumbing Code. We have to follow the 1-inch water column rule. Every building needs a main 3-inch vent to relieve that pressure. I like to think about that as kind of a breathing vent. It allows that venting system to relieve positive as well as negative pressure. We have to use Table 1 of 382.31 all the time, individual vent or any vent system, and we have to know our definitions. They shape what's legal. Thanks again for listening to Mastering Wisconsin Plumbing. I'm Ryan Boggs. Stay sharp, stay safe, Talk with you next time.